We are back here in front of Sanford Dam. Drone is about probably 75 feet in altitude. We're going to do a in-depth video here at Sanford Dam today, and I'm looking at getting this one edited and put out pretty quickly. A little bit quicker than you guys usually expect me to get them out, so hopefully you enjoyed that. If you do, make sure you go down below, hit that like button. So in front of the Sanford Dam here, you can see they have Spillway 1 through 3 pretty well dewatered. They have these looks like blocks in place, this structure that is keeping the water from flowing through these spillways. And as we get closer, you might be able to see a couple more differences here. So see the metal plates on each side of the spillways. These look like stainless, but these are in place for the upcoming gates to be installed. So those crest gates should be installed here this year yet, I believe. So you can see a little bit more of the hardware that was installed there at the bottom of the screen as well. So they've been really working on a lot of this. You'll notice as we go through Spillway 4 through 6 that the structure, these bracings keeping the water going through these spillways are at a little bit lower elevation. So I point that out just so that you can see as we come over this way, you can see that those are lower, and that's most likely, I'm guessing, to alleviate water flow. If we did have a big rain event, they don't want to block all these spillways off to that full capacity. They want to allow water to flow through these ones a little bit easier, and it actually did probably about a month ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, and you can see the structure that is tied in there, some of those logs and stuff that you can see where the water was flowing over the top of that bracing. We'll come over here to the low level outlet. A lot of water flowing through there right now at this time. We did get quite a bit of rain this last week. By quite a bit, I think it was not quite an inch, maybe a little over half an inch. I think the week prior, though, we did get almost an inch of rain. You can see that water flowing through those low level outlets. I'll drop in altitude a little bit further, and we'll actually be able to see right up and through those. A little bit later on in the video, I will go over to the other side and we'll be able to see that water flowing through the grating that is on the other side here of that low level outlet. You notice me jump and pause every once in a while as well, and that's just where I stop, I take some pictures. These pictures get posted over on my Patreon channel, so links for that is in the description down below. It's just another way that you guys can help support the channel through Patreon. A couple other ways that I'll mention later on in the video as well. As we come over here, though, I want to mention something that we caught on the live camera earlier in today. So you can see this crane from McNally in the cement structure right at the bottom, the base of that crane. So this was lifted in place earlier in the day, and we caught this on the live camera. I zoomed in a little bit, and that's what this picture is up on the screen now. Looks like a giant cement culvert. Not quite sure what that's for, but it does have a concrete lid over the top of it as well. So it just looks kind of like a box culvert. Does have a couple holes in it. We'll see that a little bit closer later on. But if you guys are, ever have some downtime, make sure you're checking on those live cameras. They are 24/7 on all of the dams. There's actually 7 of them, so quite a few of them, front, back, side, right, located at the dams. You're always able to see the progress that is happening, and there has been a lot of progress happening in the last couple weeks as work has been remobilized to these sites. I think Four Legs Task Force has a webinar next week, so make sure you guys are attending that if you want some of the construction updates. Again, nice view of this cement culvert with the giant hole in the top. If anyone knows what it is, leave a comment in the description down below if you know a little bit better what it is, but that was just my guess. Looks like it's going to be on the front side of the emergency spillway that is working on right here in this picture. So see a lot of crushed limestone over on the left hand side, a lot of fill that they've been bringing in, clay from down there, or actually up there from Wixom Lake. They've been hauling this down here to Sanford. They're using clay because that is our bedrock here in Michigan, and if you pack it down really hard, if it's the right type of clay, it forms a really nice impermeable layer that water really doesn't seep through. So a lot of ponds are clay lined for that reason. Again, took another picture here that might be the thumbnail. Seeing all this work that's happening here in front of Sanford Dam. Great expertise here by the excavator operator picking up that steel panel, and bulldozer operator here again leveling some of that sand. And we'll come over here to the top of the screen, take a closer look at that crushed limestone. Again, below that sand layer you can see that clay, and all those divots have been put in there by compactor. So when they lay this clay down, they really compact it so that it should not be settling at all. It should be pretty free and void of any air pockets. And again, it looks like they're putting a little bit of layer below this crushed limestone to separate it from the sand layer. We'll come over to the other side of the sheet pile here, take a look at what's going on here. Again, it looks like they're just bringing in a lot of clay from Wixom Lake again. Looks like they have a staging area. You'll see later on in the video as well where they're trucking that over. They don't take these off-road dump trucks that they're bringing this in all the way from up there at Wixom Lake. They truck it in with some tandem semis, dump it here on site, and then reload it into the off-road dump trucks to bring to the exact work area that they need it. So where that off-road dump truck is backing up from, all this clay has been brought in. You can see sand over on the right-hand side, and those compactors that I mentioned right in the middle of the screen. So they usually compact these in lifts. They'll dump some of this clay, compact it, dump some more clay, compact it, so that there's layers and they're not dumping a whole bunch of clay and trying to compact it all at one time. We'll let this off-road dump truck back all the way up and dump this clay for the bulldozer to go ahead and level off. As I mentioned earlier in the video though, other ways that you can contribute to the channel is through PayPal. So that link is in the description down below. It's actually the best way. They don't take out any fees if you use my link, as well as coffee. So coffee is a way that you can send me some money for a drink or for some gas money. This video that I provide here on YouTube, I only do this as a hobby. It does not pay my bills for sure. I got a day job. But as I started filming when these dams initially failed in 2020, and there was just a huge outcry from everybody that you got to keep following the story, you got to keep us updated. I have been ever since then, so it's been quite a few years already. We're nearing the end, I think it's safe to say. I think the future is pretty solid at this point. I don't think there's going to be many changes. I think we can say for sure with a definite answer that all of the dams are going to be rebuilt. All 4 of these lakes are going to be refilled. And some of the common questions that I hear are, well, what is going to be the new lake level? The new lake level is going to be the same as it previously was. So no changes there. It will be exactly the same as previously, probably with some improvements, hopefully. Hopefully some new fish structure that gets added. Maybe Wixom Lake is a little bit deeper in some areas from where they've been removing that clay. So we'll see what happens with the vegetation removal right before these lakes are refilled. But here's an awesome shot of that low-level outlet. You can see that water passing through the grating here. Water has a lot of turbidity in it right now. As always, this is the Tittabawassee River. It does get a lot of sediment in the water column, making it look very turbid. Usually this is clay sediment deposits that get swept up into the water column. We do see that a lot, that chalky melt color. We don't have a very clear river here too often with the Tittabawassee River. Sometimes later in the year when the rainfall slows down a little bit, it does clear up a little bit more. Great shot of the water passing through that grate though. You can see a little bit of debris getting caught up in that. I do believe they have to clean this manually every once in a while so that that water continues flowing through that low-level outlet. You can see how close it is from going over this bracing. Looks like it probably has about a foot before it would be flowing over those. And over here in Spillway 1 through 3, you can see it's a little bit higher, maybe 2.5 feet that the water would have to raise before it went over the top of that bracing structure and then went over the top of the sill. So again, you can see these still structures over here in Spillway 1 through 3. We'll come up a little bit closer, check those out in a little bit closer detail. These crest gates, when they are installed, it's going to be quite a sight to see. I can't wait for that to happen. You'll be able to see that again from the live camera. The live camera is mounted right here on the powerhouse, coming into view right there at the top of the screen. So it has an awesome view of all the work that is happening here at Sanford Dam. We'll continue gaining altitude all the way up to 400 feet. That is the legal limit that I'm able to fly this drone up to. And awesome shot of Sanford Park over there on the left-hand side. Baseball field's looking really nice and green. You might be able to check out some baseball games from the Sanford Park live camera every once in a while as well. They're getting a lot of use out of that area. And there's a lot more than just baseball fields. There's playgrounds, there's horseshoe pits, there's a picnic area there. So definitely, if you're in the area, make sure you take a drive through the new and improved Sanford Park. We've reached 400 feet in altitude. You can see the entire job site from over here, just panning over to see Sanford Park as well. And now we're over here to the west, checking out the job sites. This is where the trailers are located for the contractors. We'll drop in altitude, see what they have over here in the staging area a little bit closer. What I was doing is I was actually trying to see if those crest gates were here already, if they were already located on site. Spoiler alert though, I actually did not see any crest gates here. So we'll see what we have here though. I'm not sure what those structures are at the top of the screen. But over on the left-hand side, after I looked at this a little bit closer, I believe these are counterweights for the crane. So you'll see when the drone spins around, when the McNally crane is leaving, there are also some counterweights right there at the top of your screen on this semi. So those are the counterweights for this McNally crane. They look exactly the same as the ones that were on that other trailer. So that's what I believe they are. Look like they have a pretty significant store of sand and crushed limestone here on site. Definitely a lot of culverts. And I believe these are all HDPE, high density polyethylene tubes, pipes. These, just going on a limb and taking a guess, are maybe for inside of the earthen embankment, the emergency spillway, to maybe dissipate some of that water that could potentially seep through from the lakeside when those are refilled. And also, if you click back a couple minutes, on the right hand side, you saw a lot of sheet pile that has been cut off from the top of the sheet pile wall that has been installed. So this is that staging area where all that clay has been dumped, where they bring it in on the tandem trailers from up there at Wixom Lake, dump it out here on the old Sanford Lake bed, and then this excavator is going ahead and loading the off-road dump truck that then brings it over here to the site area where it is being needed. And right now that is on the backside of where the emergency spillway steel sheet pile cutoff wall is. We'll fly over here. We'll be able to see this kind of dike that they have in place that's kind of keeping the water from entering that area on the right hand side, on that side of the sheet pile, so that they can keep it nice and dry to be able to haul in that dirt or that clay. And out here on the lake bed, we can see the vegetation that has been growing. Not sure exactly how high this is. This was all cut down last year, but just goes to show how quickly that this stuff does regrow back. You can see a couple of the stumps at the top of the screen that are still out there in the lake bed. Guessing a couple feet though, maybe 4 or 5 feet with those cottonwoods on the right hand side of the screen at most. And we'll fly over here again over the top of the dike. You can see those compactors here, bulldozer stage there to go ahead and level off a little bit of that clay that is being dumped by the off-road dump trucks. As we pass over the sheet pile wall where the emergency spillway will be, you can see the gates, where the gates will be on the left-hand side and where those spillways are. As always, make sure you go down below, hit the like on this video. It helps a ton. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel and leave any questions and comments you have down below. I try to read every single one of them. If people ask questions, I try to respond if I know the answer. And until the next one, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next videos I will be posting, and leave your questions, comments, and suggestions below. As always, I just want to give a massive thanks to the people who support me on Patreon. Never underestimate the value of your contribution to keeping this channel going. Thank you.